Last time we got to see more of Goku's newfound strength, as well as how he tested it out against Gohan and Goten. But the whole reason Beerus found him in the first place is to have a rival, so they're gonna also fight soon enough too. We'll cover all that and more in this finale of What If Goku Was Like Broly. Beerus does want to fight Goku, but he decides to take a power nap first. He wants to be in top shape, so he's gonna be sleeping for quite a while. That brings us to around the time Superhero is supposed to happen, and it still does happen here. But what's happened over this time? Well, first off, Nappa's getting old. His rapid aging has already begun, and now he's getting even older. It's kind of a shame. He never got to become the strongest Saiyan, but he did have fun along the way. He just really can't fight anymore. He can't keep up with the others. He started to notice this, and that's why he fell behind Raditz and Vegeta. Slowly but surely, he started to show signs of age. So, soon enough he stops fighting completely. And he gets ready to rapidly become an old man. Not really great, but still, at least he's on Earth. On the other hand, Raditz and Vegeta continue to grow. They'll never get beyond Goku's level, but they could still challenge each other. It's a shame that Nappa can't fight anymore. Well, he can, it's just not wise to. But at least they have their own rivalry amongst each other. Goku, of course, continues down his own path, not only working more with Raging God, but he also has something else up his sleeve. But let's go to Earth for a bit. The Gamas are created, and their first target is Gohan. Gamma 1 shows up to fight him one day, and pretty much instantly, Gamma 1 is defeated. At first, Gohan's not threatened by him, but then he becomes more of a problem when he tries to fight him. Although, Gohan can tell something's a little bit strange about this because this guy's a self-proclaimed superhero, and he doesn't really seem like a bad guy, but for some reason he thinks Gohan's a bad guy. That doesn't make any sense at all. But not too long after, Gamma 2 shows up, and at the same time, Kami and Goten then teleport in. Turns out Gamma 2 is actually looking for some other people. Mainly Goku, Vegeta, Raditz, whoever. He was actually going to look for Nappa, and he would have found him. Thankfully he didn't because Nappa couldn't fight him. The only reason he went for Gohan is because Gamma 1 stopped responding. So now he's here, but Kami and Goten also felt something going on. Gohan was fighting someone and they couldn't tell who. Although Kami could see everything from his lookout, and he could tell Gohan was fighting someone without ki, so maybe it's another android. He hoped that wasn't the case, but it is. Gamma 2 is ready to fight, especially after seeing Gamma 1 defeated, but Kami intervenes and tries to put a stop to it. The Gammas are superheroes after all, so Kami tries to reason with them. It takes a lot of convincing, especially after Gamma 1 just fought Gohan, but with Kami's own intelligence and strategy, he could sort this out. Meanwhile, back at the Red Pharmaceuticals base, Magenta begins panicking, because he could see all this happening. Dr. Hedo also realized that he was probably being misguided, and he kinda knew all along, and he just did this for the money. But now he's a lot more conflicted. Magenta isn't though. He knows exactly what he wants to do. The Gammas aren't working, so he wants to activate Cell Max. But Cell Max isn't even close to done. Especially since the Gammas fought once and instantly lost, there hasn't been much time that passed. Hedo's gonna need more time, but Magenta doesn't want to wait. He doesn't care if Cell Max isn't ready because, to him, it seems like this is the perfect time. He goes to activate Cell Max as everyone else holds Dr. Hedo back. But thanks to some help from Hachimaru, he is able to fight through the rest of the soldiers, becoming his own superhero. But it's too late. Magenta is able to activate Cell Max much earlier than normal. Everything's all settled with Gohan and crew, but the Gammas get a new communication from Dr. Hedo. He tells them to come back immediately. Cell Max has been activated. It was Magenta's fault. Hearing about this kind of terrifies Gohan and Kami because the name Cell Max instantly sets off alarms. You know, Red Ribbon Army, an android named Cell. Yeah, that's probably not going to go well. They're about to fly over, but Kami says there's no need. He could sense Cell Max's ki rising. So, he flicks his finger up, and everyone around him teleports over to the Red Ribbon Army base, including the Gammas. Very convenient form of travel, especially because they kinda needed to get here pretty quick. Thankfully, Hedo does know about the weak spot and tells the Gammas about this, so they need to work really quickly. At least Gohan, Goten, and Kami are on their side, because with their help, they might actually be able to win here, especially knowing his weak point. Gohan didn't really want to fight today, but you know what? He's up for a fight alongside his brother. It'll be cool to go full power for once, especially with those new allies on his side. The two power up and showcase pretty much the same exact form. Their hair is still green, but this time it becomes a lot longer. They never saw Goku use something like this, but now they have it. Since they peaked at full power Super Saiyan 2, they just call this Super Saiyan 3, and pretty much by default it was mutated for them. Weirdly enough, right when they got this, it was pretty much green-haired by default. Not that they're questioning it. It's really powerful, but it also drains really quickly. It's no surprise to Kami either because he's the one training Goten. Although the Gammas are pretty surprised because they didn't account for that. No wonder they lost so quick. And even if they were stronger, what the hell are they even supposed to do against this? Doesn't matter now though. Since Gohan and Goten's power's fleeting, they kinda do need to make this quick. And it's better to make it quick anyways. There's a giant raging kaiju out there. The Gammas and Kami act as the perfect distraction, able to fend off Cell Max for a brief period of time, while Gohan and Goten go for the weak spot. They'll need a powerful combined attack. And you know, this is pretty cool for Gohan. He gets to be kind of a superhero here. Same for Goten. So why not finish off with a flashy move? It's almost like two Saiyamen working in action. That's an interesting way to view it. The two go as high in the sky as possible, and then they say the word to Kami. First off, the Gammas each launch their own blast at Cell Max's head, stunning him for a bit. Kami then goes orange and uses all of his magic at once just to hold him in place. With Kami's strength right now, maybe he even could try and defeat Cell Max, but this is a safer option. With his power, he actually is able to hold Cell Max in place, as Gohan and Goten descend from the sky at rapid speeds. They launch downwards, back to back, each with a leg up, each propelling themselves with a beam as well, to make them go faster. And with full power Super Saiyan 3, they definitely have more than enough strength. They effectively turn themselves into bullets, flying right through the weak point on Cell Max's head, one-shotting him with their combined attack. Hedo tells everyone to run from the explosion, and thankfully Kami just teleports them all out of there, including Hedo too. The entire Red Ribbon base is destroyed in the process, including anyone who was unfortunate enough to still be there. But Kami got all of his allies out, including the Gamas and Hedo, and luckily enough, both Gamas survived this time. They're not really too sure what to do about Hedo, but he already recognized what he did wrong. And Gohan's not really worried about the Gamas causing any trouble. They clearly are good. They're superheroes. They were just manipulated and misguided. It wouldn't be bad to keep them around. But just as the fight ends, somebody flies over. It's Nappa, who's really winded just from flying here too. He sensed something crazy going on, and he wanted to get involved, but he knew he probably wouldn't have been able to do much. But he sees Gohan and Goten here, and he's more so pissed at himself that he missed out on that. He really wanted to see them fight at full power. Now Kami kind of feels bad. He could have teleported him here, but at least he could teleport Nappa back. But Nappa wonders what everyone else is up to, because it was only Gohan and Goten fighting here alongside Kami. While that's happening on Earth, what's happening on Beerus' planet, because that's where Goku, Vegeta, and Raditz are right now. Goku's preparing for his fight with Beerus because this one's supposed to be their ultimate battle. Goku really wants to see if he can beat Beerus this time. He doesn't know if it's possible, but he's of course going to try. Beerus has woken up from his nap not too long ago, and now he feels fully awake. Raditz and Vegeta are simply going to watch as spectators. And Whis is really curious too, because he honestly doesn't know who will become the winner of this fight. The battle begins. Goku doesn't transform, and Beerus doesn't show off any of his full power yet. But pretty quickly, they start to pick up the pace. And Goku also cycles through his forms, eventually working up his way to Raging God. This is when the battle starts to get really interesting because Beerus shows off more of his strength. Although they're still both holding back. Sure, they could finish this fight as quick as possible, but they really want to enjoy it. And they also want to see what the other's fully capable of. But Goku tells Beerus he's ready to go to full power. Beerus knows he's holding back, and Goku knows Beerus is holding back too. So, the two take some time to charge up fully. As for Beerus, he's actually charging power. He doesn't have any crazy transformation or anything, but his aura grows way more intense. He's surrounded by pure destructive energy, like a shield of sorts. Just his presence alone is terrifying. Vegeta and Raditz have felt nothing like it. They're in no danger, but they feel like they are just from feeling his full strength. Just from the pressure of the ki alone, they don't know if they'll ever be able to reach a level like this. Raditz wonders how close Kakarot is to it. But Goku goes into his own unique form. It's different from the normal forms he uses, especially because it's a form all about serenity. By now, Goku has tapped into Ultra Instinct. But there's a little bit of a difference about this one too. He's had it for a while, and he's learned the ins and outs of it. He develops really quickly after all. But he's also figured out that he can make his emotions work for him in this form because usually he has to be emotionless. But at the same time, Goku's power does come from rage, so it got him thinking, is there a way for his emotions to work while in Ultra Instinct? He wasn't sure, so he started putting it to the test. And he doesn't have full mastery of it now. He's probably not even close to that just yet. But he could use the complete white-haired version of Ultra Instinct, and if he wants to use his emotions, he can go into the lower form of it, which is more flexible with his emotions and probably could be more powerful in the long run if he ever figures out the secrets to it. But think about what this would do for him. His power already comes from anger, and if he makes his emotions work in Ultra Instinct, that power is going to compound on top of itself. That's his thought process here, and Beerus is really impressed to see it. It's not the same as that white-haired form he's seen, but it's good enough for him. And while Beerus did power up, his power then condenses. He's fighting at 100% right now, but he also tries to use Ultra Instinct for himself. It's not great at the moment, and he doesn't have a perfect version of it either. But he can get to the frame of mind he needs to be in, and it's enough to help, but he's never really used this while also being at 100% power. He's kind of using two conflicting forces here, and he needs to figure out how to make them work in harmony. So, both of them are trying to use Ultra Instinct in their own ways, with their existing powers. The two clash, and the second they make contact, Whis makes a barrier around Vegeta and Raditz. Although they still can't really keep up with what's happening either because it's happening so fast. They can kind of get bits and pieces of it here and there, but Goku and Beerus are on such a different level that their speed is even too much for them to keep up with. And that's just in terms of seeing it. This fight is great for both of them. Beerus finally gets to see the rival he knew he could find. All along he knew that Goku would be that rival, but it's great to finally fight against him and see that he has the power to actually contend with him. This guy will be his rival forever. Well, Goku doesn't know about that. He can't live forever. At least not as he is now, but he's feeling the same thing. For so long he's looked for a great rival, and yeah, Beerus was always there, but Beerus is always so above him too. Goku was always in a weird spot because he had such a huge gap in power with everybody else. It's just hard to find the same type of thrill when he has to handicap himself each time. And Beerus had to do the same for him, but now, the two of them are fighting as equals. The battle rages on, and for Goku and Beerus, the battle feels like it's going for a while. But on the outside, the battle only takes a few seconds. They exchange millions of attacks, and it's definitely the craziest battle they ever had. Just to make sure things don't get too crazy, just as they exchange all those blows, Whis brings them into the World of Void to continue fighting, bringing Raditz and Vegeta along with him. But a few moments later, the fight finally ends. And even though it was only a few seconds in real time, even Vegeta and Raditz are amazed too. Vegeta comments on it, those few seconds, they felt like an eternity of combat. It was like nothing he ever experienced, and he was just watching from the sidelines. And the winner is revealed. Goku comes out victorious, although only just barely. Beerus is unconscious, and Goku is pretty badly beat up. But even Goku thinks that fight could have gone either way, because Beerus was growing during battle. So was Goku, though. And can't wait to see how much more Beerus grows in the future, because the two of them are going to continue pushing each other as rivals. What Beerus wanted is what Goku wanted too. They each have the perfect rival to fight with. But our story doesn't end here. By chance, the Galactic Patrol finds someone strange one day. Kami is contacted by Beerus. He's not sure why. The Galactic Patrol has no business with him. And Beerus wasn't really sure who else to tell about this, but he knows that on Earth they have a couple Saiyans there. Okay, why is he asking about that? Well, that's because he thought there were no Saiyans left, and there's actually one more that he found. This kind of puts Kami on alert. There's another Saiyan out there? That makes no sense, they're all dead. Well, clearly not. The reason he's alerted is because Saiyans tend to be dangerous. Not the ones on Earth, but from what they know, the Saiyans are ruthless warriors, so Kami wonders if this is the same case. That's why Beerus contacted him. The Galactic Patrol didn't actually come in contact with that Saiyan yet, and they want to make sure they have someone who could handle it. Because if he is dangerous, they don't want to send a Galactic Patrolman down there to die. But for all they know, he might need help because he's on a deserted planet that isn't really a good environment to live on. So they kind of need to do something. They're only watching from a distance now. Kami has an idea of who to send there, and who would probably like to see him. On a faraway hostile planetoid called Vampa, Kami teleports in one day with Goku, and they find the Saiyan that's here. He's completely alone. He actually seems pretty nice, weirdly enough. They didn't really expect this right away. That's why Kami brought Goku in, basically like defusing a bomb. So Goku asks a bit about the Saiyan, and learns his name is Broly. He was actually here with his father, but he died not too long ago because of old age. And the more Goku talks to him, the more he learns that Broly seems pretty gentle for Saiyan standards. Out of curiosity, he asks if he could spar. Broly doesn't even realize that Goku's a fellow Saiyan until he mentions it. And that puts Broly on alert because he was taught to hate the Saiyans. Goku didn't think that would piss him off, but now it looks like he has to fight anyways. He's sure he can calm this guy down. Although, it's weird. The way he's getting angry and the way he's growing stronger from that anger. It feels kind of similar. They briefly battle and Goku doesn't transform, but he feels like Broly has the same type of power as him. Like they have the same exact type of mutation. What are the odds of that? He's always wondered if someone else like him was out there, and it looks like he finally found him. Pretty much right after he just had the fight of his life with Beerus. And this really gets him excited. He might have just found a new rival. Someone who could actually contend with him just like Beerus does. But that's definitely going to take a bit of time. The least they could do is take this guy back to Earth because clearly he shouldn't be here. But Goku's pumped up. All I can think of now is the great fights he's going to have with Beerus, and with this new guy, Broly. Wondering if he really does have the same type of potential as him. Looks like there's only one way to find out. And with that, we end off this series here. What'd you guys think about the story? Hopefully you all enjoyed. As usual, be sure to drop a like and subscribe if you haven't already. It really helps with the channel and shows me you want to see more videos like this. Anyways, thank you all for watching, thanks for supporting the scenario all the way through, and I'll see you all in my next video.